Thank you. Thank you, Secretary Blinken, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by expressing our country's full support for this US initiative to address the growing threats that are posed by synthetic drugs and to establish this global coalition. Indeed, the non-medical use of synthetic drugs has become a global threat, wreaking havoc on communities and jeopardizing the well-being of citizens worldwide. It is therefore important and necessary that we join forces and that we take concerted action against this illicit drug production, drug trafficking, and other related crimes. Belgium and the Netherlands, the lowlands, have unfortunately gained notoriety as key hubs in the production and the distribution of synthetic drugs within Europe. Because of our central location, our countries have become attractive bases for illicit synthetic drug manufacturing and production. This is evidenced by an increase in the discovery by our law enforcement services of labs, storage, and dumping sites. The labs that we discover are mainly used for the production of amphetamines and MDMA, and to a lesser extent of methamphetamines, and for the cocaine extraction. In order to confront this pressing issue, our government recently appointed a national drug commissioner whose role it is to coordinate the fight against all illegal drugs. Furthermore, we work very well together internationally. In the first place, again with the Netherlands, because our police experts exchange information and our prosecutors regularly consult on this issue. But we also reinforce cooperation with 6 other European countries besides Belgium and the Netherlands. I'm talking about Spain, about France, Italy, and Germany. And there we coordinate our response against drug-related organized crime. What we have learned throughout our international cooperation is that we must extend our efforts beyond traditional partnerships and that we should engage more strongly with the private sector. For example, Belgium and the Netherlands concluded an agreement with major shipping companies to use smart containers, which should help us to detect and intercept illicit shipments and to make our ports more resilient against drug trafficking, like the ports of Antwerp and Rotterdam, the biggest ports in the world. I think that similar agreements should be explored with our major postal companies so that we can enhance our ability to identify and seize illegal synthetic drugs before they infiltrate our communities. Let us not forget that a holistic approach is essential in countering synthetic drug threats. It is not enough to just focus solely on law enforcement. We must also further invest in prevention, in harm reduction, in education, in treatment, in recovery and rehabilitation programs, because we have to address the root causes of the non-medical use of synthetic drugs, especially amongst our youngest people. In this context, I wish to reiterate that access and availability of synthetic drugs and controlled substances in general for medical and scientific purposes must remain guaranteed. Although the recent report of the International Narcotics Control Board shows some progress, a significant imbalance in the availability of controlled substances globally remains. We know that on a day-to-day basis, millions of people around the world are in need of controlled substances for medical purposes. And this need is even more critical in emergency situations. Consequently, efforts to tackle the non-medical use of these substances can in no way stand in the way of efforts to guarantee the access to the availability of these substances for medical and scientific purposes. To conclude, allow me to emphasize that collective efforts to tackle global drug-related threats must be based on effective international cooperation, and that, of course, rooted in respect for international law. Belgium is ready to take up its responsibility, and to cooperate with all other members of this global coalition, and is looking forward to a fruitful partnership. Thank you, Secretary, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen.